healthy resolutions for the new year, and a tour of a $100 million home right in downtown Chicago. Can you guess where it is? Daytime is next at 10 a.m.
Live from the WMAQ TV newsroom, this is NBC5 Chicago Daytime.
Good morning, Chicago. Look at that picture.
Where is it? Where's the city?
Yeah, really. I think it's still snowing outside, isn't it?
It was snowing this morning.
Yeah,
really
maybe it's just foggy. Just 2 days until the big ball drops, and then it'll be 1999.
Always reminds me of that Prince song.
Oh, I know.
Every time I hear that.
That song's going to get some serious play in a couple of days. You're watching NBC5 Chicago on this Tuesday, December 29th. Good morning. I'm Nasita Kwan.
And I'm Allison Rosati, and we're rocking it. And Sharon Wright has a wonderful, wonderful tour to take us all on of the Samuel H. Nickerson Mansion. It was built in 1893, and it's right here in the heart of the city.
Look at that staircase.
Wow.
Amazing, Sharon.
We're on the second floor of the three-story mansion. And wait till you see what we've got to show you at the bottom of this magnificent staircase. That coming up on NBC5 Daytime.
You can make quite an entrance into a room on a staircase like
Yeah.
that.
You're a princess standing on that staircase.
Thanks, Sharon. And we're taking a step back in time this morning. We're visiting a Victorian treasure located in the heart of Chicago. It's the historic Samuel N. Nickerson house, and our Sharon Wright is there live to give us a guided tour. And you've just been hanging out on that gorgeous staircase all morning, haven't you?
I love it. Picture it. It's New Year's Eve, turn of the century, and Matilda Nickerson is making her grand entrance down this magnificent staircase. What a place to have a gallery, Richard Love, to showcase all of your million-dollar masterpieces.
Well, it is a beautiful place to do business, but there's more right beyond these doors. We should take a look.
Let's fling them open.
Let's do that.
It's hard to stay focused on these masterpieces when, in fact, there is so much to see throughout this house. The woodwork, the sideboards, the carvings, this fireplace.
Taste was different then. The decorations and the woodwork was supposed to coordinate with the art. The fireplace is a magnificent one, but one of 28. The motifs are generally classical and of the Italianate Renaissance.
And this would have been the parlor where everyone gathered for, let's say, that New Year's Eve cocktail party and bash.
Well, the great ladies and their gentlemen would meet right in this room, and they would come from the porte-cochere, and they would see beautiful paintings on the walls and tiles, just as we're seeing them now. These inlaid backdrops are great pieces of furniture which were built right into the room when the craftsmen did it in the latter part of the 19th century.
And you know, we want to go upstairs via our videotape and actually see one of Matilda's favorite places.
Well, her special room is what it was. It's actually her writing room and her secretary room. And here we're going up the stairs and heading off toward her special place, a place which was intimate for her. And there we see a magnificent example of what she would have seen every day from about 1883 onward. What we are confronted with here is the beauty of a Moorish style, and of course this again is another fireplace, one of many.
And a great view of Lake Michigan from these blocks away.
Not bad at all. When the east light was shining, she would rock her baby in the bay window, but she would have a clear view to Lake Michigan. And this, of course, is Mr. Nickerson's special room, his study, his another beautiful fireplace, and an opportunity to go from room to room to room, 13 galleries, all of which are decorated in special woods and highly carved in elaborate detail, as you see here, even another fireplace. I guess the point is that these ladies and gentlemen had a beautiful place in which to show their art and to entertain.
And speaking of entertaining, they entertained the upper crust.
Well, can you imagine all the people who were here, the Nickersons themselves, of course, the Ogdens, later on the Ryersons, but people like the McCormicks, and they all lived together and played together. I don't mean that in any bad sense of the word, but they would entertain and have sumptuous parties, gorgeous places for them to spend their times together in a very nice social setting.
Of course, there is so much to look at throughout this house, all 3 floors of this magnificent, and you just have to use the word magnificent over and over again to describe the place. And we're going to be back just a little bit later to show More of the mansion and all of these masterpieces coming up later on NBC5 Daytime Live.
Looks like they did a beautiful job decorating for the holidays, too, Sharon. Thanks so much. Looking forward to more of a tour. And we're going to check back in with Sharon again a little bit later here on Daytime. Still.
Good morning. You're watching NBC5 Chicago Daytime.
I think we got her fresh from the elevator. Good morning to you, too. This morning we are admiring the architecture of an historic and very beautiful Victorian home that's tucked away in the heart of Chicago. Our Sharon Wright has been out there this morning and giving us a guided tour, and looks like you have even more beautiful things to share with us, Sharon.
Allison, we're not only admiring the mansion, but we're admiring the masterpieces like this one. In the midst of all of this fabulous architecture, here's the Skater by Culverhouse. And Richard Love, he managed to have a real coup in being able to showcase his masterpieces right here in the midst of all of this fabulous architecture. These were many paintings, paintings of the day of the Nickersons, Matilda and Sam.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the kind of art they would have chosen because it was not only from the time, but it was also what they preferred. They were one of the few American collectors who looked to American art, not just French. But as we go from gallery to gallery, we see that there are numerous examples that we show now that would have been much like what they wanted to see. For example, this work right here by Rittmann, a painter born in Odessa, Russia, but came to Chicago, then Paris, and then lived a stone's throw from Monet's home in Giverny, France.
So we can actually claim him as a Chicago artist.
We sure can. I did a book on him, and we love to claim him in Chicago.
These fireplaces, this alabaster one is a great example of the artwork that went into all of these.
It's alabaster, and it's also brass and nickel and marvelous amalgam of materials that Nickerson spent so much money on.
And this, ebony?
Well, it's real African ebony. There are some painted areas on it, but mostly real African ebony. I have no idea what it would cost, and on it is a...
Topped off by the Frederick Remington.
Remington Bronco Buster, a beauty to say the least.
Now, as we wander into this room, which is kind of reigned over by Oscar the Moose.
It is indeed. That's a funny little adjunct to the real purpose of this room, which was Mr. and Mrs. Nickerson's art gallery. She had jade in special cases, and he had art much like you see from this Eugene Vale, which was shown in Paris in 1889, and many of the other works which were from floor to ceiling in this art gallery. Later, a man who bought the building, Mr. Fisher, changed the idea of the room and made it a rare book room, and put in this fireplace.
This gallery is kind of a museum, a masterpiece in and of itself. You're open from when to when?
We're open from 9 in the morning until 5:30 at night. We want everybody to be here, of course.
Every day?
Every day.
Except
Sunday.
Except Sunday. Well, come on down, Nasita and Allison. It's really quite an eyeful. Reporting live from the Nickerson Gallery, the Love Gallery in the Nickerson Mansion. We better clarify that. Sharon Wright, NBC5 Daytime.
The Nickersons do deserve a lot of credit, though.
You're right. Matilda and Sam, can you imagine the lifestyle?
My goodness. All right, thanks so much. Definitely have to check that out.